NBA is back, and I could not be more excited. What is going on, y'all? Faiz Sports Talk back at it with another video talking, of course, some NBA, celebrating the NBA being back in our lives by bringing you guys my NBA predictions video. I'm going to be giving you guys my award predictions, who's winning MVP this year, Rookie of the Year, Coach of the Year, etc., etc. Give you guys who I believe is going to come out of the East, come out of the West, and who's ultimately going to win the championship in 2021. So with that being said, if you're new to the channel, welcome guys, and make sure to go ahead and subscribe to the channel, because that is the best way to go ahead and support me. Make sure you are following me on all my social media platforms, guys. Links down below for my Twitter, Instagram, all that good stuff. With that being said, let's get into it. All right, so here we go. NBA predictions 2021. I thought about which one I want to start with, the word predictions or who's going to win the chip. And I went back and forth. We'll start with who I believe will win the NBA championship this upcoming season. So I'm going to go ahead and put down the finals matchup for this upcoming season. Now, we know the defending champions are the Los Angeles Lakers, right? And the Lakers got better in the offseason, folks, right? They somehow got better. They added Montrezl Harrell. They added Dennis Schroeder. Two guys who could legitimately fight each other for Sixth Man of the Year award, as they finished 1 and 2 in Sixth Man of the Year award. So they added them. They added Marc Gasol. They brought back KCP. I mean, the Lakers are locked and loaded and the clear best team in not just the West, but the NBA. They've got two of the top 5 best players in the world. Certainly, you can make the case if AD is 2, 3, 4, whatever. He's a top 5 player. We know LeBron James is the best in the world. So you got that. You got the best team in the NBA. You can't dispute that. I just don't think so. And when you've got that, I believe that part is the easy part, right? So in the West, the Lakers are coming out. I'm sorry. I just don't see another team with enough firepower, especially in the Western Conference. We'll get to the East in a second here, but especially in the Western Conference, I don't see a team with enough firepower to compete with the Lakers. Now, you can throw, obviously the Clippers at me. Maybe they fix it this time around. But again, do I really want to put my faith in the Clippers and especially Paul George? No, I don't. The Nuggets are nice, but again, still don't believe they've got the firepower to compete with the Lakers, right? Or firepower to match up to the Lakers. Then you've got teams like the Phoenix Suns. They added Chris Paul. That's going to be nice. I believe they're going to be a playoff team, but it's not going to be enough. We got the Jazz, Pelicans, Blazers. Again, a bunch of teams, Rockets, but nobody compares to the Lakers. All right, so the Lakers are coming out of the West. Who's coming out of the East? This is the interesting part, because this is not a given. There's a lot of teams in the East, but there's one team that literally got so much better over the offseason, and they just got one player back. But that player is a pretty significant player. If you don't know who I'm talking about, it's the Brooklyn Nets, who are getting Kevin Durant finally, okay? And when you add Kevin Durant, the second best player, or you can make the argument third best player, whatever, he's a top 3 player, no doubt about that, in the world. Anytime you add that, you're going to be a contender, and that's what the Nets are. So the Nets, to me, are now a legitimate title contender. I told you guys that in my previous prediction videos. We've got the team now, obviously, that came out of the East last year in the Miami Heat, who obviously you have to put up there as well. Milwaukee Bucks, they flamed out in the second round last year, but again, you still got Giannis there, and they added Drew Holiday, so they're going to be in the mix. Maybe the Toronto Raptors, again, the Boston Celtics, can't ignore them. Those are really the teams I'm looking at. As far as who's going to come out of the East, I think clearly we know the Brooklyn Nets with Kyrie Irving, Kevin Durant, Karis LeVert, and a pretty solid, deep team around them has to be at the top. I think Miami is good, but can I really depend on them to have that run they did last year? It was a bit of a Cinderella run. We know that team is not that good, like to the level of, make it to the finals over and over again. Like, I love Jimmy Butler. He's a fantastic player, and Bam Adebayo as well. But are they better than Kevin Durant? No, they're not. Kyrie Irving, right? You can make that debate. But ultimately, to me, it comes down to 2 teams. It's the Bucks and it's the Nets. Now, the Bucks added Drew Holiday, so you'd be like, Faiz, how can you pick the Bucks to come out of the East if they lost to the Miami Heat and you're not picking the Heat? Correct. But they did add Drew Holiday. Just want to point that out. Ultimately, though, the Bucks are all about Giannis. Can Giannis, take that next step, develop a jump shot so teams can't pack the paint on him come playoff time? I'm not sure. So I'm going to go with, drum roll please, the Brooklyn Nets. All right, folks, I'm telling you, again, the most star power here. The NBA, not as complicated as other sports like maybe football or something where, again, you win when you have superstars. Whatever team has the most superstars, they usually win. Again, Kevin Durant, we know he's a bona fide superstar. Kyrie Irving, at one point, I believe he was a bona fide superstar. I'm going to take him down a notch and still say he's a very good player, certainly a star player. But again, you got Karis LeVert, like I mentioned. Jared Allen's a decent player. Joe Harris, one of the best shooters in the league. Spencer Dinwiddie, one of the best bench players in the league. So you have good players around them. It's not like it's just KD, Kyrie, and nothing, right? So I like the Brooklyn Nets. I think they're coming out of the East. We're going to see a Lakers versus Nets matchup. Could I see Lakers versus Bucks? Absolutely. The Bucks could come out, but I'm going to go with the Nets. And between these two teams, who wins the championship in 2021? I got to go with the Lakers to repeat again, folks. Just too much firepower. LeBron and AD on the same team, folks. Come on. Two of the top 5 players. And now a stacked, loaded bench. Got to go with the Lakers. So I've got the LA Lakers going back-to-back and winning the NBA championship in 2021. Let's now move on to my award prediction. So I've got all the awards listed out here for you guys. So MVP, Most Improved Player, Rookie of the Year, Coach of the Year, Defensive Player of the Year, and Sixth Man of the Year. Now, I'm not going to go in any particular order. I'm going to just kind of jump around here, but we'll actually start at the bottom and talk about Sixth Man. Now, I alluded to this earlier about Sixth Man. The top 2 finishes in terms of the six-man race, they're on the same team now, in Harrell and Schroeder. And I believe there's just too much opportunity there in terms of them getting the playing time because you have Danny Green that's gone, and you have Dwight Howard that's gone, and you have JaVale McGee that's gone, that Harrell and Schroeder are going to get a lot of playing time. So I believe the race is going to come down to them again. But this time, I'm going to go with Montrezl Harrell to win the Sixth Man of the Year award, folks. I think he's going to absolutely put up numbers here on this team because he's going to get so much playing time. Marc Gasol, at this stage of his career, he is washed, folks, okay? He can come in, give you about 15, maybe 20 minutes, but Harrell's going to eat up all of that other playing time. And I like Dennis Schroeder, but like I said, he won it last year, and I believe he, playing the same position as LeBron, isn't going to have that same opportunity that Harrell is going to have. So I think Harrell's going to put up a lot of numbers, and I got him winning Sixth Man of the Year. All right, so I said I'll jump around a little bit. Let's go to Rookie of the Year. All right, so Rookie of the Year is kind of tough here. So we've got, Anthony Edwards, number 1 overall pick, James Wiseman, number 2 overall, and LaMelo Ball, number 3 overall. Usually it goes to, the guys that, are the higher draft picks, and usually goes to the guys that have the most opportunity. So for me, this one's very simple in the sense of I'm just looking for the most opportunity. Now, taking a look at Anthony Edwards, he's got Cat and D'Lo on his own team. So he's actually going into a situation where he's got guys that are going to handle the ball a lot, and he's not going to have that. So I just don't think he's going to put up the numbers. And for Rookie of the Year, record doesn't matter. It's all about numbers. Then I take a look at LaMelo Ball. Could he win? Sure. In Charlotte, though, they just signed Gordon Hayward. I believe LaMelo, again, might not have as much usage now because they have Gordon Hayward. He could still win, but I'm just not sold on LaMelo Ball. I was never sold on Lonzo Ball, and I think LaMelo is going to be similar to his brother, maybe a little bit better, but fairly similar. And so my thing is I'm leaning towards James Wiseman. And here's why. James Wiseman's also not going to have the ball in his hands. First of all, he's a center, so it's even more hard. But also because of the fact that when we take a look at the Warriors, they have a clear need, which was center. So he's going to get all the playing time in the world that he can handle. And he's on a team, though, where even though he doesn't need to shoot the ball, he can put up monster rebounding numbers, block numbers, defensive numbers next to Steph, Draymond. We know there's not going to be any Klay Thompson, Wiggins, Kelly Oubre. So I think Wiseman easily can average a double-double here. Give me maybe 15 and 10. If 15 is too much, maybe 13 or 12 and 10. But I think he can easily average that with a block, and I think that's enough. It's a very weak rookie class. Remember that, guys, okay? We don't have a Zion this year. We don't have like a Blake Griffin and Anthony Davis. Like, this was a weak rookie class. So I'm going to go with James Wiseman to win Rookie of the Year. All right, moving on to Defensive Player of the Year. I'm going to go with the guy that got snubbed last year that should have won it. He absolutely should have won it, and he didn't, and that was Anthony Davis, folks. AD deserved to win Defensive Player of the Year. Went to Giannis, who, again, I'm not saying Giannis, it was like, oh my God, egregious, but I think AD was the clear guy, and I believe he's going to take it up a notch this year. I even thought about putting LeBron here because LeBron James is still pissed off, by the way, about not winning Defensive Player of the Year ever in his career. He almost won it in 2012 or 13, I believe, when Marc Gasol won it. But he's still salty about the fact that Marc Gasol, when he won it, he didn't even make All-NBA Defensive First Team, and he still won the award. How does that work? I don't know. With that being said, I'm going to go with AD. I'm telling you, he's going to terrorize players on the defensive end, block, steals for days. I could see AD averaging 2 and 2. 2 blocks and 2 steals. All right. Moving on to Most Improved Player. This one was very tough for me. Very tough. There's a lot of guys in contention. I thought about Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. I thought about guys like, Jamal Murray, Jaylen Brown, Kobe White. Ultimately, I'm going to go with a guy who I believe is absolutely going to take the leap for sure. And maybe it's a little bit of a hedge here because of the fact that maybe he kind of already broke out. But I'm going to go with MPJ, as in Michael Porter Jr. Now, Michael Porter Jr. last year averaged only 9 points and about 5 rebounds a game. He's going to get consistent playing time this year. So he's going to average, I believe, he has an opportunity to even double his scoring to maybe 18, but I'm going to say about 15, 16, and then he can average 10 rebounds a game. I'm not saying he will, but again, for him, why I say this is easier is because unlike Shai, unlike Jaylen Brown, unlike Jamal Murray, those guys have already put up decent numbers. And so to win Most Improved, you have to make a significant improvement from a year before. Well, 9 points and 5 rebounds isn't very good for MPJ. And so he's going to easily destroy that and average, I believe, like I mentioned, maybe 15 and 8, 15 and 10, 17 and 10. He's got that type of potential, folks. We know Michael Porter Jr. is legit, and I believe with consistent playing time this year, they shipped out Michael Beasley. He should be able to easily start, and he's going to emerge as a star on the Nuggets. So I'm going to go with Michael Porter Jr. as my Most Improved Player. Now we've got Coach of the Year, and this kind of goes hand in hand with the MVP because the MVP that I have, his coach is who I have winning Coach of the Year. So I thought long and hard about this. MVP, right? Here's the thing about MVP. I'm going to break it down very easily for you guys. All right? Everyone tries to make it complex. It's very easy. There's a very easy formula to winning the MVP award. Wins, stats. That's it. Let me elaborate a little bit on that, though. Wins. You have to, unless the numbers are just so through the roof, you have to be a top 3 seed. Top 3, maybe 4. Most likely 3 seed. All right? Or you're not winning MVP, and you have to put up disgustingly good numbers. Right? Like filthy numbers. So, taking that formula into account, I thought, okay, who are the usual culprits? We've got Giannis, who can certainly win it again for a 3rd year in a row. He's going to put up monster numbers. But 2 things working against Giannis. They did add Drew Holiday, who I believe is going to take the ball out of Giannis' hands slightly, which could lead to a dip in numbers. And 2, voter fatigue. We know this happens. We know the media wants to give it to new guys, and so the same guy winning it over and over again gets tiring. I'm not saying it's right, but it does happen. So those things are working against Giannis. Then we've got LeBron. I think him being on the same team with AD and vice versa, they just cancel each other out. And I know LeBron's more focused on winning championships at this point in his career. Then we've got KD. Similar argument, maybe with Kyrie canceling him out as well. And I'm not sure if I can depend on KD coming off that Achilles injury to win an MVP right away. James Harden, he doesn't even want to be in Houston. I can't pick him. Steph Curry's a good one too. But do I really see the Warriors being a top 3-4 team? No. So, you go down the list. I mean, Dame, but again, do the Blazers get a top 3 or 4 seed, maybe not. So again, it's tough. And so ultimately, the guy who I have winning MVP this year, he's going to be a first-time MVP, is none other than Luka Doncic. All right? I've got Luka Doncic, and let me just put down Coach of the Year here because I've got his coach winning. And I'll explain both of them. If I can spell that properly, I think that's it. Okay, there we go. So Luka and Rick Carlisle. So let me explain. Luka, last year, his numbers were already disgusting. He averaged like almost 29 points, like 9 rebounds, 9 assists. Something like that. Something crazy, okay? So his numbers were already crazy. He has a chance to average a triple-double this year. So the numbers part, check. As far as team, the Mavericks were not a top 3 or 4 seed last year, but they easily could have been. Folks, the difference between the 3rd seed, the Nuggets, and the 7th seed was like 4 or 5 games. So you're telling me a 4 or 5 game difference and you become 3rd seed? I could see it happening for the Mavericks. They didn't get worse. I mean, they added Josh Richardson. They added a couple pieces in free agency. No one, is super significant, but they did. So Luka's going to have the numbers. He actually just needs to have the Mavericks be a top 3 or 4 team, and I can see it happening. And the reason I see it happening is because they have a damn good coach in Rick Carlisle, who I believe is going to make it happen. So I see Luka just, going berserk this year, just going nuts, and I think he is the guy who wins MVP. Again, I like LeBron, maybe KD, but Luka to me makes the most sense. I'm going to go with Luka Doncic for MVP. So there you have, folks. Luka is my MVP. MPJ, Michael Porter Jr. is my most improved player. James Wiseman is my rookie of the year. Rick Carlisle is my coach of the year. Defensive player of the year is Anthony Davis. And 6th man is Montrezl Harrell. And by the way, Rick Carlisle winning coach of the year. I believe the Mavericks will take that leap because Luka's going to be an MVP. And that's why I've got him winning coach of the year. But there's a lot of guys that could, be in contention for this. Monty Williams comes to mind. Maybe Billy Donovan. See what he can do with the Bulls. Maybe Steve Nash, if the Nets finish as the number 1 seed. But that's who I have. Let me know what you guys think. Leave a comment down below if you agree or disagree. As always, thanks for watching.